reach the top somehow.
Okay, my Straight Talk family, when you hear that theme song, you know it's time for another edition of Straight Talk, and time for me to say good night, St. Kitts and Nevis, and say good night to the entire Caribbean region as well. I must also hail my Kittitian and Nevisian diasporic family, wherever you are around the world, on the World Wide Web. I know that some of you are in Africa, there's some of you in Asia, there's some of you in Europe, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America, so I'm at liberty to say good night. I can say good morning, and I will say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. My Straight Talk family, if you are joining me for the first time, Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. We try to promote national discourse, because you have to raise the level of national discourse. We have to ensure that we discuss things from a perspective of truth as well. My Straight Talk family, I just want to thank Almighty God for giving me yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on another occasion, and to remind you that Straight Talk is heard every Monday and Thursday night from 8 in the PM, 8 to 10 in the PM to be exact. And we normally, as a part of our program, part of our public service, we keep you apprised, we keep you informed of the COVID-19 situation in St. Kitts and Nevis, our blessed homeland. And we heard today, sadly, of another death from COVID, another COVID death, if you want to call it that. But notwithstanding, there were no confirmed cases. There were no confirmed cases in the last 24 hours, except there's just this one death. How am I saying that right? The statistics would say confirmed cases none, but total number of deaths has increased by one. Look at the vaccination rate though. It's still doing well, 83%, and as for first doses, and 78% for second doses of fully vaccinated. And just to let you know as well, as of the 1st of April, that's on Friday coming, there will be accepting the antigen tests. In fact, this message reads, or this release reads, inbound passengers and COVID-19 testing. These protocols come into effect on Friday the 1st of April. All inbound air travelers to St. Kitts and Nevis are permitted to submit and travel with an accepted valid COVID-19 RT-PCR test or a rapid antigen test result. The RT-PCR test must be done within 72 hours, that's 3 days prior to the arrival in the Federation, but the rapid antigen tests must be done within 1 day prior to the arrival in the Federation. Accepted tests include tests taken at an accredited, recognized laboratory by a healthcare provider using any of the following samples. And that's a big one here: nasopharyngeal and or oropharyngeal sample. I hope I got that right. Please note, self-administered tests or home kit tests and tests using saliva samples will not be accepted. In a nutshell, the antigen test would be accepted based on the accredited institution that you get that from. Then you do that test 1 hour or 1 day prior to arrival in St. Kitts. Our observations in review is a time as well when we do some reflection and establish what was accomplished, how has it helped others, what has changed since, what can be expected next, and what new have we learned as a people. And just to continue our discussion of last Thursday, the 24th, recall I referred to a proposition advanced by our Deputy Prime Minister in relation to the budget and the budget process, because that created some stir in St. Kitts in terms of his call for the Prime Minister beg your pardon, to make a public statement. And to me, as I said, it spoke volumes of one's knowledge or lack thereof, the budget process that is undertaken annually by consummate professionals or by the professionals in the Ministry of Finance, headed by the Financial Secretary. And this came on the heels of an earlier statement as well made by the Premier of Nevis, who did in fact had this to say as it relates to the CBI program, and this is what the Premier had to say.
St. Kitts has its local economy, but St. Kitts has hundreds of millions of dollars that pour into Bastia from the citizenship by investment. A negotiation of our shared asset, the passport. And so we are saying, this was a matter that caused upset, hurt, and consternation. It was a matter that the CCM stood up for, said was not right prior to unity. It was one of the principal issues why we entered unity. And I drafted the Charleston Accord, which reflected the agreement made. So why now is there so much resistance to honoring that agreement?
And that
why?
Issue, as it relates to the CBI revenue, I will continue. I did recall that I did in fact promise you that I'll find myself a copy of the estimates of the volume 1. The estimates, I'm sure you can see that on your screen, volume 1, which I did get a copy of, my straight up family.
And 28 million left.
Everything was okay.
Here's your 30%. Go pay your
everything was okay.
You have to pay over there.
My straight up family.
Handle your business.
And
what is so difficult about that?
Did in fact read. I did in fact read the.
Instead of that,
a copy of the page on page 6.
And hush him out.
On page 6,
something.
Did find the CBI or citizenship by investment proceeds.
Then I start to hear about how much
the amount of money that was being talked about.
Fathers
in fact,
Nevis,
the actuals for
grandmother and grandfather
2020 are just 270 million.
Love is not something you just talk about.
807,661 dollars. So my straight out family, I don't know where those figures came from. Those figures came from at all. So I don't know where, as I said, those figures came from, but the figures not showing in the estimates. And the volume 1 of the estimates, it's one of the books that are laid on the parliamentary table, and it provides, like I said, information for the public. It's public information. You know, recall I also referred to volume 1 and volume 2 of the estimates. Volume 1 broadly outlines. Volume 1 broadly outlines the plans for revenue collection and expenditure by the ministry or by the government, which is made up of all the ministries, each ministry to be exact. But my straight dog family, I say categorically that the estimates committee is in fact the cabinet. The estimates committee is in fact the cabinet. And before being laid on the table of the Parliament, before being laid on the table of the Parliament by the Minister of Finance, debated by all members of Parliament, that gives authority to spend the people's money. Because remember, it's your money and my money. And unless you can get that approval from the Parliament, then you do not or you cannot spend the money. It includes government consolidated revenue as well, and gives details of projections of the federal government as well as actuals for the previous year's estimates. So this information is available and available to all. I'm not certain if you heard my sound bites, my straight up family. Yes, I know what's happening. But my straight up family, as I said before, I made it my business to secure a copy of both volumes. And you can, because they are public documents. This information is public information. And this information, I believe, provides or ensures greater transparency and accountability to the citizens and residents of St. Kitts and Nevis. Now, this is the only observation in review that Straight Talk will deal with tonight. We will keep you posted on this and any other story that develops. As a matter of fact, the stories keep developing, and we had this story. I'll keep you apprised later. But that's on our last edition, nonetheless, my Straight Talk family. On our last edition of Straight Talk, a caller gave the Federation this sound advice that I'm happy to share and to use as my introduction tonight, especially after what I witnessed at the Patsy Allah's Park or playing field on Saturday gone. A caller sent this information to us, my Straight Talk family, and he said this, which is really sound advice for all of us.
Some callers are saying unity mashup. Unity is not a party, you know. Unity is divine. And when person, I heard you say tonight also, persons who being elected, seems that they didn't realize the job that the people put in there to do. And it's a fact.
True.
Because when you within a unity administration, you have to take off your party hat. Your party cannot be before unity. Unity is going to be ahead of the party because it's country about self. That's the motto. So you can't tell me that you have a motto, country about self, and talking about party. I mean, you respect the motto that you created. So, and with Mr. Brantley, I mean, come on. He is a part of the government. Yes, agreement was as a party, but you're now a part of the government. If you didn't get enough treatment from the relationship, I could hear you making them going to grievous noise. But you yourself said the treatment is much better. So I mean, if you continue, you end up getting more than your fair share because it's a relationship. So what is it for? Put your head down and do what it is to continue to develop the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. That is what the charter is for. Reform the system. And Mr. Sean, come on. He got to get his act together, man. He got to stay focused because he's a part of the government. So everything that to discuss in cabinet, don't go on as though this is something new. Come on. They cannot hurt the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis because people are ready for them things. People want unity. When you have unity, you could see a way there's hope, there's vision. When you have party, there's divisiveness. And we prove that. We don't see the unity is a template to go forward. So, and some people may feel, oh, unity, you have noise. Yeah, it's good to have noise with unity, but you have to stay focused with what your aim is. Your aim is to keep the unity together. So you've got to take out the rank out your mind and the party divisiveness in your head and all the elitist meditation.
My Straight Talk family, that's the voice of the people. Saturday, the 26th of March, I witnessed scripture being fulfilled at the PLP 6th convention, which was a wonder to behold. I saw togetherness. I felt love at this event, where everyone feel welcome. It was a practical example of what the psalmist told us about how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And Pastor Lincoln Connor invoked the blessings of God that signal the beginning of the evening's proceedings, my Straight Talk family. And very instructive was the pastor's prayer.
May today's proceedings be memorable, impactful, and the unveiling of a pathway for continued progress for the improvement of the lives of the people of our federation. We give you praise and thanks to your Son, the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
My Straight Talk family, impactful. Yes, it was memorable, impactful, and the pathway for continued progress, as invoked by the pastor, was unveiled to improve the lives of everyone in the Federation. Prime Minister Harris and leader of the PLP committed the to the people's unity in his remaining 3 years he has in office. He committed to consolidate the people's unity.
We want to St. Kitts where our sons and daughters stand free, realizing their dreams and aspirations and creating a wonderful country. I will devote the next 3 years. I will devote the next 3 years of my term to making St. Kitts and Nevis the number one country, not just in the OECS, not just in CARICOM, but in the entire world. Yes, we have a track record. Over the past 7 years, we have accomplished our task at hand. Any failure to do so will incur the wrath of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. If they mash up our unity, you will punish them. You will punish them. For unity, it is a vote for unity that you gave in 2015 and you gave again in 2020. And I will stand with you and for you on the journey to consolidate the people's unity.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, delivering for the people was the theme of the convention. And it's something that Prime Minister Harris can do well and has done well in the past. He's delivered 4 successive double salaries. I take that back, I think it's 5. I stand to be corrected. But as a people, he has been endeared by the people. And he continues to address the cost of living with this announcement as well, my Straight Talk family, with these measures that will be put into place.
Yourself. But my government has been considering it. And we are going to bring some measures that will bring some relief to you. These measures will include measures to reduce gas prices at the pumps. And we will reduce certain taxes and certain items of groceries to make the cost of living more manageable for you. In other words, we are delivering again for you. We are going to extend the income support for those who continue to be unemployed, the $1,000 a month. I think we had in the budget said we will do it for 3 months. We will extend it for another 3 months to help you out because we care. And we will monitor the situation. And this one you would like. This one you like, and you can tell your friends tomorrow that I have asked the financial secretary to consider what it will cost to give you, our workers, an increase in wages and salaries.
My Straight Talk family, measures to bring relief to many people who are suffering, some still out of a job as well, my Straight Talk family. But as a people, we should always stand together, because unity not only gives strength, but it is also important for our survival. We must never allow any negative influence to break our unity. But strange but true, my Straight Talk family, there are some members, or one particular member in the cabinet, who is on a different pathway, quite obviously. And this just came to Straight Talk, hot off the press from Observer Radio, my Straight Talk family. This interview with Deputy Prime Minister Sean Richards.
All right. Does St. Kitts Nevis, in your view, have the resources to afford this increase?
Well, that is a good question, because part of the complaint that you also have had from members of parliament is that when you try to get information relative to the financial resources of the country, that is shrouded in much secrecy. Sometimes you hear the argument that, oh, if you look in the budget estimates, you are able to see this information. But when you take up an estimate for the budget, what you basically would see is how much you estimate to collect in a particular year, and not for the previous year, but for 2 years gone by, you would see what the actual amount that you collected was. And so one isn't satisfied that one has the correct information to allow him or her to make those sort of decisions. So to be honest, I can't say to you if the resources at this particular point in time would afford such.
Do you feel a sense of betrayal as a result of all what you've described in our discussion this morning?
I think honestly we do feel a sense of betrayal, because you work with someone and you work with an individual in good faith, and so you expect that when information is needed, information is shared. You expect that in regards to the resources are shared. You expect that, just as we said to the persons in the public, that there would be fair share for all. That you are able to honestly say to your constituents that you are of the view that fair share for all.
My Straight Talk family, I must admit, I'm baffled. I am wondering if this is the same colleague whom I served for 5 years. I'm just really pondering, and I'm very, very cautious to say anything because I have not spoken to my colleague. But it's not a normal way to operate as one who is second in command and one who is aspiring to be a leader of the country. Well, that's the most I can say, my Straight Talk family. It's your turn. I'll open the lines because I'm sure many of you would want to make your interventions. Why is unity important? It's a question I'll ask. Is unity needed for survival? Does unity give us an opportunity to continue our growth? Has it worked wonders? But unity certainly has given a lot of us courage. And I sat there yesterday, and I can tell you, the people in this country needs unity. The people ask for it. I'm going to ask you as well. Do you think, my Straight Talk family, that the Prime Minister Harris should have walked with that bell? Do you believe that he should have walked with the bell? Because he did say he felt like ringing the bell. Or don't let me misquote him. Don't let me misquote him. That's something I'll hate to do. This is exactly what Prime Minister Harris said yesterday.
And then, Lord, if I didn't know, I would have walked with the bell.
Interesting comment by Straight Talk family. But here's what, I'm going to open the lines. I'm going to entertain your calls and your emails. Remember, we are using 2 lines exclusively as of last week, Thursday. Get the pens, get your paper, put it in your notebooks, on your cell phone, or wherever. The local number is 869-662, or take that back, 869-663-6672. That's 869-663-6672. Our overseas line is 646-829-6672. Both numbers end with 6672. 663-6672 or 646-829-6672. I always like to implore you, before I open the lines, I'll do that in a few seconds, that I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in doing and saying those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, my Straight Talk family, I go to the lines and say, caller, you are live. Yes, caller?
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah Gavian, Queen and Zinga. Blessed evening, my beloved African brother. How are you and the family?
Peaceful, my brother. You and yours?
Good, man. Good, brother. Good, man. Give thanks. Oh, my beloved brother. I'm baffled from what I just hear Sean Richard said. But mister, I'm all for unity, man. I'm all for unity. What? Brother, when you then some people cannot be trusted, and they are among you. Brother, it's sad, sad, sad. Let me say, if members of People's Action Movement from Sean Richards and them two other guys, I ain't have no problem with Brother Hamilton, because to me, Brother Hamilton, from what I know and what I heard and said, he's still with Dr. Harris and the unity concept, beloved brother, and which has worked for the past 7 years and counting. But they have these three guys. Sean Richards, like he joined a gang too, and those two other guys, so it's non-entity. All I am saying, if you have a problem, and to my beloved brother Mark, Mark, come on, my beloved brother, man. I'm very surprised at some of the things, not everything, beloved, but I will talk to him about that Wednesday night. And my beloved brother, if they have problem with they have any issue, why they cannot trash it out in cabinet, beloved brother? If I'm not mistaken, I heard they meet every Monday. Stand corrected on that. Trash it out. If you don't want to be no longer part of the Team Unity administration, just exit, just leave, and let Dr. Harris call election. Because I know I was a supporter of Pam for 52 long years. 52 long years. But when I see some of these guys at the hem saying and doing all kind of nonsense, and this nonsense continue, I cannot support that, man. Come on, Sean, wake up. This is the kind of a leadership, quote-unquote leadership you espouse. No, man, we don't want that. And if it's that you espouse, I wouldn't support you, and I know many of us wouldn't support you to be the next Prime Minister of St. Kitts Nevis. And if it's so, you are going on. I said in the past that I will support Dr. Harris for 2 terms. But if it's so you are going on, I got to seriously think about that. Come on, People's Action Movement. And I'm going to say no about the parties, and I'm going to say no. Want to mad, let them back. Right? If the Pam going out right now, beloved, the Holy Coven, everybody sure shot everybody on number 5. Right? And number 8. Maybe 2 seats Pam could win. Number 5, sure. But Sean continue, and they put somebody down there, go to one against him, he can be beaten. Come on, Sean, wake up, man, wake up. I thought better you, my brother. Thought better you. Like I said, and I say in closing, if members, the People's Action Movement, Twin Cabinet, no longer want to be a part of Team Unity, come and say so, and let Dr. Harris ring the bell, and let us see how sugar cane, I not say nobody kind of say it's Nevis, how sugar cane is good, beloved. So, brother, like I say, I'm all for unity, but you cannot have no traitor or traitors on board. Need to throw them overboard and let Dr. Harris continue the great works that he's doing. He got fall just like any one of us, beloved brother. But when you got people who want to be with you and another time not with you and attack, run them out all over the place, saying all kind of foolishness, no man, this nonsense got to stop and stop now. Brother, thanks again for hearing me. Keep up the great work. Pan-Africanism our parish. One love, my beloved brother.
One love, my brother. Thanks for your input. Straight to the point. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you are live.
Yes, sir. I'm calling to find out, when is the government going to lift the ban on testing for incoming passengers to St. Kitts?
Lift the ban?
As of April 1st, Canada is lifting the ban. No more testing. And of course, the Caribbean, other countries are doing it, other islands are doing it.
Are you in the USA?
It's a little hard for lots of people traveling.
Are you in the USA? You're calling from the USA?
Yes, sir.
But the USA has it's not a ban. You have to get the test.
You
can travel
from Florida to New York. You get no test from Florida to New York.
But that's internally. That's internally. If you're coming from outside of the USA, you have to. I came in yesterday and I had to present a test, a COVID test.
As of April 1st, Canada has no testing.
No, I'm not talking about Canada. I'm not talking about Canada. I'm not trying to argue with you either. I'm just giving you the facts. I'm saying to you that in the USA where you said you're living, they require an antigen test or a COVID test at 24 hours before you arrive in any US port from outside of the US. Are you aware of that?
When it's coming to St. Kitts?
Coming from St. Kitts to the US.
I was speaking about coming from the US to St. Kitts.
But come on, let's be reasonable, let's be fair. We have to protect our health system. And if the big US is doing that, I mean, why would St. Kitts just surrender or abandon a COVID test?
I have one more question for you.
Yes, sir.
Why is it when you come to the airport, you kind of drive to the airline door, drop off your passengers and drive out? You have to go in the parking lot, and elderly folks have to be struggling with their baggage across the parking lot.
Well, that's something new to me. I'm not aware of that.
No, it happened to me last week.
You can't drop off on the
gate. The man at the gate told me to go into the parking lot, and then I have to pay $2 just to drop somebody off and come out.
Oh, that's not good news.
I'm not asking, I'm telling you.
Well, no, I'm not doubting you, but that's
around by the taxi drivers, go to the top, drop off the passengers, and proceed out. Now they're telling you to go into the parking lot, and you have to pay at the gate when you're going out.
Oh, but the taxi bring you right up and drop you off. So why not?
Yes,
why not you?
But the private cars can't do that.
That's discrimination, I would say.
Okay,
that's something they have to look at.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks for your input, nonetheless. Yes, that's something that you can promote. You can't. I say so without fear of contradiction, because one should be able to bring up their passenger and drop them off and move out. I mean, so if that gentleman is correct, and I believe he is, to say that he has to go to the parking lot and, as he said, drag his luggage up there that long way, that should not be acceptable. Caller? Yes, caller, you're live. Hello, caller? Caller, you're live. Are you there, caller? Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Again, the numbers are... Yes, you're live, caller.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Yes, what that caller is saying, it is true. When you go, you have to stay in the parking lot and pull the things them to the door to get in the terminal. It's true. What he's saying is true. And what he said again about the test to come to New York because Canada drop off the stop it. You can't, because somebody do something, you can't jump in the ring. You have to have reason and know what you're doing. It going phrase. They had to wait. It's going to phrase. They got to wait. Mm-hmm. Because we don't want to go forward and then go backward. When we go forward, we go forward. So that is my piece, I have to say.
You had to surrender a COVID test before boarding the aircraft. But let's go back to the lines. Caller, you are live. Yes, caller?
Hello?
Yes, you're live, my brother.
Yeah, Patches?
Yes.
This is me?
Yes, you're live and
okay, you sound a bit soft, that's why I asked you if this is me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, good night, everybody. Yeah, good night, Nabu. Sure shot. That's a big 6. And Patches, the lady here, I believe what the lady said, and I agree with her, with everything she said. I mean, not because country A and B and C do it, we must go and jump and do it because they do it. And when we don't, we have to go back and change things. Everything cannot be done one time. So we can't look at them when it comes to this. We got to protect our country. The country belongs to everybody. And it is very small. We ain't even got 51,000 people. So for that. But this thing here at the airport, it is wrong. If it is true, it should be stopped. Everybody's supposed to go around the closest point while you're on the road. Come out your car, put out this thing, and then you go and you park up in parking lot, or you go and you pay $2 to go out. In St. Thomas, you got to pay to go in. You got to pay to come out. So the paying is a must. Can't let people utilize the place and you don't get no tax from them to maintain it. Those practices around the city state too. With the unity concept, unity is strength. And I'm going to say something that a lot of people don't know. Rock will know, and you might know too. You ever see a car with 3 wheels? Yes, I have seen one. And the first car we had in St. Kitts with 3 wheels, it had belonged to the cable and wireless. The office was up at Lagweed. 2 wheels at the rear, one on the left and one on the right, and the one in front is in the center of the car. If you put the one in front or one on the left, the car can tumble down. That is not unity. And if you take out one behind, the car can tumble down, you cannot go. You take 3 angles to make a unity, or 2. And if you know you have a problem with whosoever in the government of unity, talk to them about it. And personally, and if they continue doing the problem, then you all go inside where all the family meet, in cabinet, go in there and discuss it and trash it out. It's big people, not children, we're in Pampers. Trash it out in there and don't come out in here before you all come to some agreement. Because how could a unity go forward when some pulling going east and some pulling going west? That is not unity. That is not unity. One accord. Let everything be done decently and in order. That come out of the Bible. If it is not done decently and in order, it is not united. Come on, people, man. Stop this stupidness here. We can't have people stabbing one another in back. Because at the first place, before the 2015, you all agree that we can work as one. Okay, we went through the first 5 years. Everything was going good. I don't know if anybody was stabbing in back in there. But I know one person was doing some stupidness, talking some stupidness, and I think they straighten up. Now we got into 7 years now. What happened now? All of a sudden everybody coming talking about this and that. And fair share. Everybody must get the fair share. Fair share is right for everybody. But then we must talk everything how it go before we come down to fair share. Let's show everything in one bucket. And then we divide it and we share it out fair. Because I have something else to say tonight about Dodo Bim, but if I get back in, I will talk about that. Let me more let somebody else get in because time is short. Thank you so long.
Thank you very much. The numbers again, 663-6672. That's our local number, 663-6672, and or 663-6672, 663-6672, and or 646-829-6672. So both numbers are ending in 66 or with 6672. My Straight Dog family, I know there are new numbers to you, but you get accustomed to them, I'm sure. Many have already got accustomed to them, but we are looking, just reflecting on yesterday's convention. Was one of the biggest and best conventions ever held by a political party in St. Kitts and Nevis. It was expressing love, expressing joy, and everyone seemed to have been welcomed, and everyone in fact, shared together. And that's what unity is all about. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you are live. Yes, caller?
Them a calling me, right? I call me pan, the man down here, the boy down here, Sean. Sean ain't no good. And just like how we vote for Jackson, we gonna vote him out too. You understand me? I serious. As a last man, Sean ain't no good. So right here, serious thing. Yeah.
Thanks for your input, the caller. We go right back to the line. Again, the number is 663-6672. That's our local number. And the overseas number, 646-829-6672. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller?
Yeah, good evening. Honorable Patrick Libert.
Good evening. Turn your radio down or your equipment down.
Glad to see you back. Yes. Glad to see you back home and so on. And I hope during the time you're here, you take some time out and stay at Fish Bay and campus up there a while. Because the people up there, they still love you. You don't care what happened, they still love you.
Thank you.
Patrick, I see on Saturday, I don't know why the Prime Minister, why he's not roaring up himself. He have the strength already, you know. So if they don't want no unity, just ask the music festival, look at the bell. Look at the bell. You understand me? Because you cannot trust these people no more. There's no more you could trust them. There's nothing in this to make up. You can't trust them. You know, they try to embarrass the Prime Minister and they ain't get it work. Because they're cool and calm. You know, when you say get up to get a glass of water. Because he couldn't believe what he was hearing from them people he helped to come to the street. They got a real deep party was dead before. And he bring them back alive. And now they're trying to kill him. You know, so let them go, don't carry a dead weight. You know, you have the people behind you. Inside that convention the other day. Look the amount of people, the amount of CCM people come over. You understand me? Just to be with the Prime Minister and stand for him. You know, when they were talking about fishy and this and here, when they were getting one payment from St. and one payment from Nevis, then they were thinking about fishy for the other cabinet members. Eh? I bet you none of them tell Sean, well, boy, you're going to pay, you know, or you need to get a pay from Nevis too, to fishy. But they never do that. They never give you non-patches. You understand me? And the little you get from the local government down here, the central government, you still bust it and help your poor people them in your town who want medicine, who want this, want food, all kind of thing. You went and you do that for them. You know, arguing about fair shape for nobody. You take an oath to be a politician. You take an oath to help the poor, not help yourself. You know, and want to go around and do everything, but the poor must not have nothing.
Okay, got you, my brother.
You know, look at them people with the water off. What are them people with the light off, including me? Right? Them is a help. People need help. You know, you can't go on and just boasting and the big rich people and then the lights still on and they owe more money and the poor. They owe more money and the poor people and them. But when the poor people them try to come up with a couple dollars to go turn the light on, they say no, we want half or we want all or nothing. Them things can be right. Because you were there, you never turn that the light off yet. You know what you say? Go and give them and you tell them take what the people have. Okay? God bless you. So you don't got to worry. And God bless me, Prime Minister. I was walking with the bell yesterday and Sunday and Saturday, but forget the bell on my table. But the bell gonna ring just now, don't worry. So let us go ahead and get the act together. Performance is what matters. Okay.
Thank you, my brother. Yes, a dollar is better than nothing at all. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, I want to thank you for holding your live.
Thank you for allowing me, Brother Patrick. Good night, one and all. Mr. Patrick, with your track record, and look at the listening to the problems that unity has right now, if it is fair to say that. With your track record of your good deeds, and some people look at you as the word arrogant. I am baffled by that remark. Now, hold that comment in a slot. Now, would it be fair? The electoral college, if I may say, are divided into 11. How about if it remained the same as it is? And for each electoral college, as we say, constituency, have a constituency election among the 11, which mine, I always say, include Nevis, that total the 11. Have a constituent election, and the winner of that particular constituency will be that victorious one. And then we have a prime minister election, but the winner will be the majority head that counts, and make election much easier. I think that will be a fair way for good governance moving forward. So I think that concept that is on the table should be tweaked a little, okay? And I think this still wouldn't stop the problem, but it will make things more sound and solid, because there are too much misunderstanding, too much backstabbing, and too much side in the mix. Everybody want to do their own thing, but you must have unity. Unite. That's what we need. I agree for unity. Okay? Unity means to come together and work as one. Harmonization. And I just can't understand why the political division cannot become a settlement for a harmonious situation moving forward. I will leave that. That's just a comment. That's just an injection. Last but not least, we need all the improvement that is on record for each man, each leader. Build upon that and move forward. Stop the fighting. Let's unite and move forward for the better of all people.
Okay.
No stone left unturned. Thank you for having me. Patches, I need you to run for Prime Minister, because you have a good track record.
You have a good Prime Minister, my brother. Thanks a lot for your input. Caller, I want to thank you for holding your live. Caller, you're live.
Patches, good night.
How is Mr. Politics? I didn't see you on Saturday.
Yeah, Patches, first, I always want to thank God for life. Thank God for sparing me, keeping me. And thank God for the Federation of St. Nevis, a loving, blessed country that we are born into and live into up to now. And I just want to thank God for Team Unity. What the Team Unity has done well in the first term and in the second term they continue to do. And who are the naysayers them out there who trying to distract and say what they want to say? They just say what they want to say, Patty. That is the democratic right. First, Patty, I want to commend the Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Harris and his convention on Saturday. I believe history, you talk about history? I believe history is made in this federation again. With Dr. Harris, with the PLP party. And I want to commend the minister, number 3, Akila Byron Nisbet. I believe she has done a wonderful job on Saturday. She done deliver, and she's talking about delivering again for the people in the next 3 years, in the next 3 years to come. And she sounds so good. Sounds so promising as a woman. And I believe when Dr. Howe is born out, she will take the mantle of the Unity Party as a woman and lead it. Because I believe PLP will stay. With Dr. House advising some of his members them in his party. He will stay as an advisor. Now, Patches, I want to move on. Now, I hope a lot of them see that who the people them really want. That is when I see the PAM supporters, when I see the NRP supporters, when I see Labour supporters, and everyone up there jumping for joy, cheering on the Prime Minister. That is history in the Federation of St. Nevis. So not Doya Astafan, no Travman, no Big Light, no Brownish Dinner Lady, and the man, Licky Boy Japan, not one of them could distract the people in mind from the love of unity. Because unity will here to stay, and it's going to stay. And if that's how we succeed in the election, if they want unity, we know where we're going. We know where we're going when the election comes. So all the naysayers out there, I hope that the people in the Federation send a message to them on Saturday. Send a strong message to them that unity will stay. And Dr. Harris is a loving, cheering Prime Minister. The man has done well for the Federation as a leader. Again, another time shot, I want to give somebody the chance. So good night, Alice, and good night, Jam Dong. Dumpling, good night. And all those who call into straight talk and uplift the country and uplift the Prime Minister, I want to wish them a blessed night. That is it.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. We go straight back to the lines. Again, the numbers are 663 6672. We go back to the lines. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, you're live. I'll take you. Turn your radio off, Mr. Bibleman.
Hello.
Yeah, turn your radio down. Turn it off.
Sergeant.
Yes, you're live, but just turn your radio off, could you? I want the whole world to hear you.
Sergeant.
Yes, turn your radio off and speak to your telephone.
Sergeant.
Go ahead, Bibleman.
Mr. Sergeant, good night.
Good night, sir. We are hearing you loud and clear. Just turn your radio off, move away from your radio.
Hello.
And just talk to the telephone. Can you hear me? Caller, I think you'll have to call back, my dear brother. Just turn your radio down, talk to your telephone, and we will hear you. We are hearing you loud and clear. Again, the numbers are 663 6672 and 646-829-6672. The local number 663-6672. The Bible man, I know you're listening to your radio. We are hearing you. Just turn your radio up and talk to the telephone. We go back to the lines. Caller, your line.
Yes, good night.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Come on.
Good night.
Good night.
And how are you?
I am peaceful. Just turn your radio up. Turn your radio up. I'm hearing the radio in the background.
I don't knock it up.
What am I
hearing? I don't knock it up.
Okay, go ahead. We're hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah. So you enjoy yourself Saturday night?
Of course. We had a wonderful time. What you doing?
Yeah, man, yeah. Yeah, man, the situation is, you know, the pastor scripture with the Prime Minister call out? Mercy and walk humble before God. Micah chapter 6, verse 8. You hear it? Micah chapter 6, verse 8. And 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 1 to 8 to 5. Talk about every man, you're supposed to pray for every man in supplication and prayer, give thanks. That's it. But listen here. When you have a pure heart, you will do anything in unity. But brother, if you don't have a pure heart, as the Bible says, the heart are deceitful and desperately wicked. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. That's it. Proverbs chapter 6. There are 6 things that God hates, and one is abomination. So the situation is it. The last one, discord among brethren. And why you not really sincere? And you don't really got a good heart. He said, Bible says there were envy there, strife there, it's gonna be confusion. But you see, a lot of people believe that our smart, our church prime minister, but I gotta put them there now. I gotta put them there. Sorry to say it, but I gotta put them there. And when who God bless, no man curse. And the word of God said, promotion neither come from the east, nor the west, nor the south. God check up and he pull down. He set up and he pull down. But who tell people that God is going to put 11 government in power? Who tell them God is going to put Pam in power? Not at all. If people who God be, they would not say so. God have the law, said Mr. Patel. So let it go ahead. And they're going to regret the day they were gone. So me take an big on the mock. The president, have a pleasant day here, have a pleasant night, and see you. Bye.
Have a pleasant night as well, my dear brother. We go back to the lines. Caller, I want to thank you for holding your live.
Good night to everyone who are listening. I constantly listened every time that you're on. The first time
You
I'm
have
getting
a caller. You have a radio on?
No. I'm overseas and I'm calling the direct line.
Yeah, but you have your equipment on.
Let me turn off the other thing I have here and it's on mute, my television. You're getting a feedback? Okay.
Yes.
I'm just saying if there is no unity, there won't be any vote for me apart from PLP. So I hope that the politicians are listening. We want unity and nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. It's really referred to as the people's unity, so that's straight to the point, and I believe that the thing about it that we all ought to focus in our minds that the concept of unity did not come from the from the politicians. It in fact came from the people. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Thank you for holding. Yes, caller?
That's me, Patches.
Yes, you're live, yeah.
Good night, Patches.
Good night, my dear.
All I want to say is that unity is here to stay. And one thing, burning issue that I have is with the people of Nevis. What they need to do is to get 3 different candidates to run for the federal government and not the island administration ministers running for the federal government. It's not fair. They need to stop that and change their vote, their attitude. Fair. They need to have 3 different candidates. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thanks for your input. It's now 11 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour. 11 past 9 o'clock. We are entertaining your calls. I'm repeating these numbers because they are new numbers we have just implemented. They are 646-829-6672 or 663-6672. The new numbers, my straight dog family, that we use on this program, effective last week, Thursday. We are exclusively using these 2 numbers for you to access the program. Patches, it was nice, so nice of you to come for the convention. After all, you're the St. Kitts Nevis senior diplomat with this email. Nevis got $500 million EC dollars, and the division folks should be asking the Premier what has he done with that money. Patches, nothing over here is new since he's in charge, so he's trying to blame the Prime Minister. The old saying, the truth will set you free. What has he done with the people's money? I have a message for him and Sean. Douglas says to tell them he don't carry water for little political infants, for nothing is in it for him. Family, good night, God bless, and be safe. That's the views of the emailer, and not necessarily the views of the host of Straight Talk and or the host of, and or Straight Talk, to be exact. Delivering for the people, that was the theme of the conference or convention yesterday. And what a convention it was, my Straight Talk family. The Prime Minister outlined measures. He outlined measures to give or bring relief to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And he did in fact say to the world that one of the measures that is being considered, he said he asked the Financial Secretary to consider this particular measure, and it goes like this.
Yourself. But my government has been considering it, and we are going to bring some measures that will bring some relief to you. These measures will include measures to reduce gas prices at the pumps, and we will reduce certain taxes and certain items of groceries to make the cost of living more manageable for you. In other words, we are delivering again for you. We are going to extend the income support for those who continue to be unemployed, the $1,000 a month. I think we had in the budget said we will do it for 3 months. We will extend it for another 3 months to help you out because we care, and we will monitor the situation. And this one you would like. This one you like, and you can tell your friends tomorrow that I have asked the financial secretary to consider what it will cost to give you, our workers, an increase in wages and salaries.
Well, consideration to give the workers an increase, did not say the level of the increase, but in fact, many people are baffled by this reaction from the Deputy Prime Minister.
All right. Does St. Kitts Nevis, in your view, have the resources to afford this increase?
Well, that is a good question, because part of the complaint that you also have had from members of parliament is that when you try to get information relative to the financial resources of the country, that is shrouded in much secrecy. Sometimes you hear the argument that, oh, if you look in the budget estimates, you are able to see this information. But when you take up an estimate for the budget, what you basically would see is how much you estimate to collect in a particular year, and not for the previous year, but for 2 years gone by, you would see what the actual amount that you collected was. And so one isn't satisfied that one has the correct information to allow him or her to make those sort of decisions. So to be honest, I can't say to you if the resources at this particular point in time would afford such.
Do you feel a sense of betrayal as a result of all what you've described in our discussion this morning?
I think honestly we do feel a sense of betrayal, because you work with someone and you work with an individual in good faith, and so you expect that when information is needed, information is shared. You expect that in regards to the resources are shared. You expect that, just as we said to the persons in the public, that there would be fair share for all. That you're able to honestly say to your constituents that you are of the view that fair share for all.
My straight up family, that Deputy Prime Minister speaking today with Observer Radio's Alan Brown, and in the event you are baffled, I can confess I am baffled as well. But just for clarification, though, in terms of the budget, because the fiscal year of the government ends each year in December, the fiscal year of every government, or the financial year, whichever you want to call it, runs from January to December of each year. So, but Parliament meets in December each year, so you can get the authority to spend the people's money, You have to appropriate the funds. There's an appropriation bill that has to be debated and approved in Parliament, which gives the authority to spend the money. So to say that you get information from 2 years, now because the fiscal year is not complete when you're presenting a budget for a particular year, then it's only obvious that you would only have a complete year, which is, let's say, we are now in 2022. So next year or later this year, when the budget session starts, you'll have the actuals for 2021. Because it is strange though. It is strange though that a deputy prime minister does not know and tells me that he himself, when I ask his prime minister or ask the financial secretary, as a matter of fact, he has acted as prime minister on so many occasions. So to say that you don't have that money, I don't know what is in the budget. Wow, I am baffled. I am really, really baffled. But as a people, we should always stand together, because unity not only gives strength, it is also important for our survival. We must never allow any negative influence to break our unity. As someone just asked me, my Straight Talk family, and I'm going to ask you, when the questions come to me, I'll pass them to you because I ask the questions. As someone asked me, if you found a snake in your house one day when you arrived at home, would you sleep with that snake in your house, or what will you do? That's a question just posed to me, and I'm going to pose it to you. It's 20 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. The numbers are 663-6672 and or 646-829-6672. We are looking tonight, examining unity. I captioned tonight's program as Unity is Divine. I go to the lines and say, caller, you're live. Yes, caller.
Good night, my dear beloved brother. Good night.
How is my sister? How is my dear sister?
Convention was a pack on Saturday. People wetting up one another with frustration. And they don't care. They don't care. They just want to greet. They want to meet. They want to greet. My Prime Minister, the Honorable Timothy Harris, he talked about an increase for the workers. That's a man for the people. Now, tell me, about a year and a half ago, the Deputy Prime Minister had a meeting with the workers, and he told them that everybody's not supposed to get pension. Everybody's not supposed to get pension, and this can't happen. So now that the Prime Minister advertised that he can help the workers with a little in the department, he not like it. And he's gone to talk foolishness, but he wants to be Prime Minister. He go on the ear, and the ear he dirty laundry. When I was a child, I couldn't go shop without a bag. I had to walk with a plastic bag or a handbag to buy my stuff. My grandmother and my mother used to tell me that. When I wash in the backyard and you hang out your clothes, nobody has to use dirty laundry. He needs to take a check of himself. My Prime Minister, the Prime Minister for a total. He said, he not have to pay it. He not have to pay it, but the people. We want him there. We want our Prime Minister for a third term because he understands poor people. have a good night. And you were looking so sweet. And I got me hung up.
Yes.
I feel great.
You were looking just as sweet, my dear sister. But it was wonderful
Good
to see
night.
you.
Yes,
Wonderful
so
to
I
see
need
you.
to work. And I'll be next to you.
Thanks a lot. Yes, yesterday was really a convention, a convention of all conventions. It was really a convention that espoused love, it espoused togetherness. It was just different. And in the event you have just joined me, my Straight Talk family, we are looking at the unity issue, unity concept, and what's going on. Caller, you're live. Yes, caller.
My Bonnie.
Bonnie went over the ocean.
Good night.
Good night, my brother. How are you? How is Montserrat?
You hear me loud and clear? You're coming kind of broke up. You hear me loud and clear?
I am hearing you loud and clear. How is Montserrat? Montserrat, my Bonnie. Can you hear me?
Quiet. Quiet as usual. Only that you not play the game. You not play the card straight with me because you know lie over the ocean and you find the bunny and you know tell me nothing.
Don't believe everything you hear, my brother.
So listen now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe on echo back. Maybe an echo back on the phone. Me no know. Maybe the lines them not hook up to properly tonight. But listen, you ask some question. If you say snake, what you do if you sleep in the house or whatever? It all depends on the snake.
You will sleep with a snake in the house? That's what you're saying?
If I want that cross, you go try kill it, right? But then you also got them one that like puppet that people make. So then you usually keep the one they like on teddy bear. You hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Right. Okay. The echo gone now. Yes. But listen, what is after this hullabaloo, tell me how I can get this thing fixed back up. After this pulling and tugging, especially washing the dirty laundry, not the public, for the entire world for here. How are you going to really get together to regain one another trust? So the question is, do PLP going to run a full team now? Because me not really see. Me tell you the truth. Me not really see where this unity can join back up with all this pulling and tugging and the truth about it. Me go say this. Well, you know, election win their constituency. But the whole point about it, like, probably Sandy Point, Sean Rodong Sandy Point, right? Right or wrong?
You're right.
Exactly. If the Sandy Point people want Sean, right? The point about it, me not see this is my point of view, so I don't really want to find the Sandy Point people get vexed with me. But me not really see where the federation right now can show the premiership in a Sean hand. This is my point of view. We can't see where the premiership can really gonna Sean hand right now because Sean show me. Well, me look on distance, me not on the ground. But Sean show me up to now, up to yet, where he got this leadership, commander, and material. You see, one leader no act out like that. One leader doing things behind closed door. You see, Dr. Timothy Harris, me not campaign free on your program or patches. But this is my point of view because me study people. Although me not down there with you, me just listen and me study people. Dr. Timothy Harris, our genius. And he master, he do his craft and he master him. Right, me not campaign for you. The federation do not say that me I do this. No. Me not campaign. Parties me talk on the premises of Jesus say, "Give unto Caesar what is Caesar, and unto God what is God." And if you give God what is God, and you know give Caesar what is Caesar, you still rob Caesar, you know. So you still not play the card right. Dr. Timothy Harris, he master craft. I mean, watch it since he moved over the labor. And the truth about it, here one. Well, they're going to say me campaign for you. But you're an excellent leader. Let me put it on this way. You're an excellent leader, Patches. And okay, what me check again. Who no love me? They no study. This is the whole point about it. Me go down now, Patches. They no study. So, who no love me? Then try tear you apart. Okay, who with it? But the truth about it, if them really study Dr. Timothy Harris, and if Sean made the understudy for he, Sean would act different, and to me Sean will learn nothing. But never done it before me get me throat cut.
And that's what straight talk is all about, my dear brother. You have to talk the facts. You have to talk the facts. We entertain the facts. We always say, talk the truth. And back then, you had to be prepared to stand alone. It's 9:22, and many callers are questioning the strategy, if I can call it that, of the Deputy Prime Minister. Because just today, an interview with Observer Radio's Alan Brown was aired on social media. That's where I heard it first. But our lines are open, my straight dog family. 663-6672. What's your view on the utterances? Someone asked the question: is Sean going to the cabinet? If he's going to the cabinet, you wonder why those utterances are made in public. Why we have these types of public utterances from the deputy? Let's just go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Yes, caller, you're live. Are you there, caller?
Hello, Patrick.
My brother Jam Down, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine, buddy. It's nice to hear the views of the unity people them out there. You know? I was just trying to give the new voices them a chance to call in. Because this is what it's all about. It is very, very serious. And I want these politicians to know, you know, they're going to play around with people's life. And the end of the test series, the poor people, they must be smiling. That's sad. We don't pass all them hurdles. No more politician fooling jam down in St. No more. I don't care who you be. You understand? What I have seen going on in this country, we need to try to go back with nonsense. Mountchat is right. What Mountchat is saying is right. They live here. And people abroad who listening, use your parties. Understand what's going on in St. This is about a man and a group of men. This is about people life, poor people. Poor people in our strong, poor people all around the island. This is where we set up for unity government. We're going back to the party stupidness. So the better the dark in order. Otherwise the people will rush it on them. Have a good night, patches. Hear the man culture and politics and the freedom fighters. We're running, we're backing down. The lane politician now. What we mean? As the Californian, say, what you mean? Have a good night.
Have a good night, my dear brother. We go straight back to the lines. Caller, you are live.
Very blessed and rather pleasant evening to you, Mr. Liebert, and all your listeners everywhere.
Good evening, my brother.
I would like to make a few inputs. I will try to do so as quickly as possible.
Please.
With respect to abandoned and derelict vehicles around the island, I heard Ras Nabu speaking about that in the Deep Bay area. It's not only in Deep Bay, we have that in numerous areas around the island. And if we are speaking about having an environmentally friendly country and having a clean environment, I think this is something that ought to be looked into. So my recommendation, my humble suggestion to the authorities is to invest in a piece of equipment that can crush old vehicles. That piece of equipment can be installed or placed at the garbage disposal site in the Connery area. So what you do, all the derelict vehicles that are taking up spaces around the island, they can be brought to the Connery disposal site and crushed. And I do believe that there are countries in the world that utilize those materials to do certain things. You can correct me if I am wrong, or if any listener out there have that knowledge or they have that information, they can call in and let us know. But I know that derelict vehicles can be crushed.
Caller, can I interrupt you for a moment?
I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
You just joined the program? Have you just joined the program?
Hello?
Have you just joined the program?
Not really, because I was listening in my vehicle.
So why you came in, I out of abundance of respect, I allowed you to make your point. But you came in and you just deviated just like that. I mean, you heard the context of our discussions. I mean, just wrap up what you're doing so I can get back to our theme tonight. Can you? In 10 seconds?
Oh, okay. So you have a specific theme, a specific subject for this evening?
We actually use the caption that unity is divine. But you've made your points. I can't allow you any more time because you have kind of a lot of time already. But I'll give you 15 seconds.
Repeat that theme for me, please. Repeat it.
Unity is divine.
Unity is divine.
Yes.
All right, so you're speaking to the the coalition.
I'm speaking of the concept of unity.
Okay, so it's not from a political standpoint with respect to the ruling unity administration.
I use the biblical verse as my point of departure, and I know you are a Christian-minded man. Psalm 133, verse 1.
Yeah, well, in unity there is strength. United we stand, divided we fall. So unity is always very critical. Unity is crucial. It is essential to be united because once there is a united front and people are united, you have a united voice.
But since you asked about, I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but since you asked about politics, if you put that into the political context and what's going on, is it good or bad?
Well, I would like to think that it is something good because I'm saying in unity there is strength.
No.
When there is division and there is divisiveness or divisiveness, it can lead to the downfall of an organization, the downfall of a group, a party, a country. In unity, there is strength. There is always strength in unity.
Okay, thanks for your input. Thanks for your input. I'm sorry to hustle like that, but you've had your turn and the lines are really going. I want to entertain as many callers as possible.
All right, fair enough. Thanks. Fair enough. I would probably try to get back in a bit later.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Drivers.
Good night, sir. How are you?
Hello? Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for asking. And good night to the listening audience right across the planet. Mr. Leibon, what you understand the meaning of PLP?
That's
and if you're speaking. Yeah, I mean, you have a definition, but you have other definitions. Because when I look at the whole when we look at the whole situation, Sean Richard and Lindsey Grant and John and does and stamina. You understand? Because people vote for Pam in the past pre-election, and up to now, you're not going to help and support from them. Yeah? Not help and support. Whether you're number one, number two, name it. You understand what I'm saying? And in 25 minutes, that's what we vote for Pam. And a lot of Pam people voted for PLP too. So when you hear about PLP, and you're looking at Pam Labour people, and anybody could think they could come up against that kind of force and that kind of party with that kind of leader. In terms of the leading that kind of force. And I don't have a choice to tell you that because that's what we want. PLP needs to get its own government. Not this government, these kind of people who have their own agenda. And at the end of the day, the same leader have to save them from their own circumstances and fight their own battles for them. As important as we remember them kind of situation there. So whenever Sean and whoever ready to go forward and doing what they want to do, because they voted for some candidates, I just said. They said I got 5 seats. You voted for General. People voted for Mr. Grant. People voted for Chad. And at the same time, PLP voters no. None of them show up in the PLP convention. I don't have a problem with this here because they maybe have been busy or whatever the situation is. But these down here, who we voted for, ain't show up in in PLP convention. They come. Who PLP voted for, man them there for sure. Definitely. They can't come after PLP voted and tell us what vote for them. So I personally going forward, I agree with the situation in terms of the Prime Minister and the PLP having candidates in all 8 seats. Because at the end of the day, the people that will support Sam, not going to support Sam and the citizens going to lose. If I'm going to lose and Pam ain't going to stay, they're going to support the people who represent Pam. And Timothy represents Pam since 2016, 2015. Timothy doing so much for Pam people. That's why some people supporting him. You help people, as you say, people help you. John them cannot say that. John them cannot say that. None of them could say that. What Timothy is saying. And thank God for him. So that is, we're going forward. We're going to have to do what we have to do to make sure we come out on top, because we don't know what the fight is with. You have a good day.
Have a good night as well. That's very interesting perspective. We go straight back to the lines. Caller, you are live. Could you turn your equipment or your radio down? So I want the whole world to hear you. Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am here. Good evening, everybody out there in Radio Land, and good evening, Servant Ambassador Patches Libert. How are you this evening?
I am peaceful, my dear brother and friend. And how are you?
I am in mourning.
You're mourning?
Yes.
Do I have any reason to guide you by the rules of brevity tonight?
Yes, no, you don't. I will just say unity is divine.
Yes, yes.
In keeping with your theme. You are divine, and so am I.
All of us.
And every last one of us, because every one of us is a spark from that divine bonfire. But I said I'm in mourning on one level, and yet on another, I'm rejoicing. Because you see, to make a beginning, we must first make an end. And sometimes what we see as the end is really only
beginning.
A new beginning. So yes, I am mourning for the unity I once fought and loved. It has died, but rejoicing that the whole detestable mockery that it has become is finally over. That is out there right now.
My caller, can I interrupt
if you? Didn't know it.
Can I interrupt you, my dear brother?
I am just saying very briefly. I'm closing.
No. I want to ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
Yes. Okay. Yes, you may.
You're not the only caller that made that proposition, but really, in 2012 or 2013 or thereabout, when the surveys were done, the people did not say they wanted PAM, PLP, and or CCM. The people said they wanted a united group. Do you recall that? So I mean, so the unity does not necessarily have to come from these three parties. Don't you think?
Excuse me. You did a survey, right?
Not me. There was a survey done by the Don Anderson Group. There were 2 surveys done.
Okay, but listen right now. When last has he been here to do a survey? We are on the ground.
No. What I'm saying to you, I'm sorry to interrupt.
And we are, hold up. Things as they exist right now, they did not exist 6 months ago. You know that.
I think we're saying the same thing, my brother. What I'm saying to you, though, right, is that the concept has not died, right? The
concept. Hold up. The concept is sound, but guess what? You're talking about unity. Unity is harmony. Variety under control. Does it look like the various components of unity are under control and working harmoniously towards the common good.
But it does not have to be in its current disposition. That's the point I'm making. But the concept will be alive.
Oh, yes, of course.
Right, okay, so we agree on that. I'm sorry to interrupt you. So we agree on that. That's fine. Yeah. But make your point.
Certainly we agree on that. That would never die.
Okay, got you. That's the point.
That would never die.
Got you.
Excuse me, you have had several loves of your life.
Yes,
no. I'm sure that your present darling is not the only one that you've had in your entire life. No, hardly. Talk to me. But if, of course, the first love fails, as it more often than not does, you seldom find a man who takes his childhood sweetheart and marries her. That's a very rare occasion right now. You know that the relationship might have died, but the concept remains.
Okay.
Now, I am saying, if the fulfillment of that promise cannot be found in those constituent parts that compose unity, what do? I'll tell you what we do. Go to 1 Samuel 15 and 28. So Samuel said to him, this is Saul, of course, you know. And if you remember, the people had called, God told them, you know, listen, I'm going to rule you. That's why we want the king. He had broad shoulders. He was tall in stature. He was the masculine ideal. And he still turned against God. And you know something? So Samuel turned to him, Saul, and said, the Lord has torn the kingdom from you today and has given it to another, translated to mean to you a better. And here's the Dr. True, and the 90-year-old Labour Party will step in. You have a great one this evening. I'm sure that we have others out there right now waiting patiently rather to call. And when you get out, you're going to have an earful because they went on like dirt bike. Like a dirt bike down there on Freedom tonight. And I personally tuned in. And you're going to tell me that this is what people are voting for? Good evening, folks.
Yes, good evening, my dear brother. Thanks for your input as usual. And just to clarify what I was attempting to say in terms of what transpired, what was the outcome of the two surveys done. I think they were from 2012 and 2013, and this was one of the comment from Don Anderson.
Over the two polls that we did, one of the issues we looked at was how people felt about a group of politicians who might become united against the incumbent. All right, that's where that started. What was clear from the outset was that there was a notion that unity was important to contest an election against the incumbent. But what is important is that regardless of where they come from, whether it's CCM or Labour or New Labour or what have you, the key point is what has been conveyed to the country is that here is a group of persons united in opposition. You can call it what you will. What came out was that there was a feeling that a united group would be important. And I make the point united group rather than a unity party would be important to oppose the incumbent.
Let's go back to the lines. Caller.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Hello?
You're live, caller.
Hi, good evening again, Mr. Library. With respect to your topic of unity, in the book of Psalm 133 verse 1, David said, or David asked, how good and how pleasant it is when brothers and sisters dwell together in unity. From the perspective of unity, unity will always be good for any and every country, everywhere. We have seen throughout the world the formation of quite a number of blocs. We have seen the formation of the European Union, the formation of ASEAN, the formation of the EU, the Organization of African Union. We have seen the formation of the OECF, the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. So I am making the point that where you have a small federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, where the two populations put together is and the population of Grenada. It's a long way.
Are you there, caller? Okay, we seem to have lost the caller. It's 6 before the 10 o'clock hour. As we wind down tonight's programming, I'll take a few more calls. We were, in fact, looking at unity in its state of divinity, I would call it. And the general view is that unity is, in fact, needed for survival, or very survival in St. Kitts and Nevis. Caller, you're live. Yes, caller?
Yeah, Patrick, good night again.
Yes, politics.
Patrick, you know what happened to the party I love and I was support for someone said is the People's Action Movement. You know what happened to them? They get in government and they turn against the supporters then. They didn't pay attention to the supporters. Could they pay attention to? Is them in the rank and file and them vote here. With ordinary man on the road, they study them. And that's why the people them doing what they got to do and showing up to every event that the PLP have. Whether you're PAM, whether you're Labour, whether you're system or whatever. Because they see political, motivated by the leader we have. And the man is a loving, sharing prime minister. He makes sure everybody's happy. Look at it now. The minimum wage is going to raise soon. Understand? And that's so good to the ordinary man and woman in the federation. Now we are all Ukraine. Let us people put us down here when that war over. It don't start. Especially with gas and all those things. Maybe food, because both one can't come as they like. Maybe electricity, because we might charge just on our electricity. We charge the food on our electricity department. And all these things we got to look out for. When I listen to the Prime Minister making a presentation, I don't listen to him good. And the man talking from straight out his heart touching. Love and care and sharing for the ordinary people of the country. Just imagine, I'm a PAM for so much years. We need to benefit. And not one of them, but a leader, cabinet members, our candidate, not one of them ever make me say anything to me. Send them with us, raise the hands up. Any event Dr. Harris got to see me. Dr. Harris come out to me and shake me on it. In a funeral or whatsoever. And that's why I love the man as a leader. Because he loves and he takes care of people. No matter what. So with all the naysayers them out there tell you Patrick, they have nothing to say. They're just wasting the time. You understand? Because Dr. Harris will be there with the PLP party, election coming up, whether it comes up now or whatever, he'll be there.
And if they want unity, the people want unity. When you take a ticket, I believe they don't know. They don't really know. They don't really know. And if they can't get with a unity government, if they can't get with a political party whatsoever to form a unity government, let it go and park up themselves. Because this is where the country got to go. Can't to put a jam down on all of us. This is where our country got to go. And Prime Minister, to be strong. I like how you Saturday, I like how you argue with them. You answer them back from the can, stop thinking they had. You answer them back. You stand up gentlemen, you stand up firm. And you stand up in the meeting and you listen to them. One of them said, Lambert India. And none of them show to your convention. But in the heart, in the heart, you bust in them to come tell you sorry. But the party is wonderful time again. God bless.
God bless you as well. Thanks for your input. We go back to the lines and call you live. Hello, caller.
Very, very briefly. I'm here listening. And of course, you know, my love for you is unquestioned. So I said I must ask you the question publicly. Are you racism by perpetuating a past? Just tell the people the truth. That unity, sadly, as we envisioned and knew it, is gone. I'm saying in closing that at this, you would have the consolation. You've done the right thing, but will you?
You seem to be breaking up, caller. Are you there? Are you there, caller? Okay, I seem to have lost the caller. I think I was making the point that the concept of unity will be forever with us. I was making the point that the unity concept does not have to be formed with a specific construct, if I can use that term. But let's go back to the lines. Caller, I'll take a few more calls. You're live. Yes, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Patrick again.
Yes,
what we're talking about, unity. Unity could go along without those two first party we had, you know. You have other parties running. So that what you can do is form a unity amongst who want to join the unity. You don't got to go back because that is finished. That is buried already.
Okay.
So I don't know why people still talking about come and make up and make back this and make this work and make that work. There's nothing that could work right now.
Okay.
So all what the Prime Minister has to do, run his slate. And then when you run his slate, wait up and stop. And then if you want to bring in somebody else, somebody else. God bless your pastors. Have a good night. God bless my Prime Minister.
Have a good night as well. Let's go straight back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Yes, caller, you're live. Are you there, caller? Are you there, caller? Are you there, caller? Okay, we seem to have missed the call. I'm going to wind down tonight's programming. I'll perhaps take two more calls since I had a little tardy start tonight. I'll take two more calls before we wrap tonight. We were looking at the unity amongst the parties as we know it. But let's go back to the lines. Caller, you are live.
Good night.
Good night, my dear. How art thou?
Good night.
How art thou? Sounds like Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, the line just kept cutting out. Long time I'm trying to get in.
Oh, I'm happy.
I don't know what happened. But since it's a short, I agree with what politics say. I'm glad to see you. And Harris again. If I get in next Thursday, God spare my life. Because we have to say that nowadays. Because people passing our fast. I will say all what I have to say, but I will have to try call early. The cell calls them not coming through so good. So if you could get another phone number, please. Have a good night.
Okay, have a good night as well. My dear Alice, it was nice to see you as well. Alice, we go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Thank you for holding.
Thank you for allowing me again, Brother Patrick.
I'm going to ask you to be brief now.
Yes. Yeah. Permit me if I deviate from the topic. Perhaps this might be the last thought.
Yeah, but I'm going to only give you 30 seconds for that. Now I have another call holding. So if you're going to deviate now, I'm going to give you 30 seconds.
I will ask you if you could monitor, question the Custom and Port Authority for me in respect to an issue I have with them. It's time has due when my situation should be resolved. I've been promised weekly every time I make a call, and nothing has been done. But I will leave it as that another time to give you full detail.
Yeah, but I can't commit to. I'm caller with respect. I cannot commit to resolving that matter for you, at least from this distance. Number one, all right. That's really that's a really Himalayan task.
I will yield the rest of the time to.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your input. That will be a difficult one to agree to. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you live. Hello, caller. Yes, Jam now.
Patrick, let me share you something, you know. The voters in this country will say what they mean. You understand? We will say what they mean. Because we don't watch these politicians, especially on time platforms. They don't care. They say nothing here. I like the politics so far. What politics saying, we be watching them all the time with them kind of move, you know. Totally watching man into government. Manchester get big like Carrot Queen. Bow right over to Nevis. Ask the supporters. They wouldn't even go down to the PLE by Joy Shot. They wouldn't even go down for Santo. These are the phone supporters them. They don't want to see them. They don't want to knock nice. Mark and them is the friend. Mark Wilkins them all of a sudden. I have been them down in the alley them. Bring them in the alley. Let me see where they could do for it down in the alley. We don't say what we mean. All them swans shopping now is so. When they go around and the people that they say, but they not find a Spanish bar. Up and down we know like a Spanish. But this is the country and we're going to decide this. And we are a walk. And when I reject, we will reject you. That is have a good night. This is Jam Down.
Have a good night as well, Jam Down. And perhaps that's the way we're going to end it tonight. My Stray Dog family, because my time is done. My time.
And then, Lord, if I didn't know, I would have walked with the bell.
That's the way we're going to end it tonight, my Straight Dog family. But this discussion obviously will have to be continued, because what we are hearing does not really look good for the current construct. Yes, we can reconcile, we ought to reconcile, we can forgive. But do we do that as it's being done right now? My Stray Dog family, we looked at the situation as it relates to the current disposition with the parties of the team unity arrangement, I would call it. I said Sunday, I kept saying Sunday, but in fact it was Saturday. Saturday at the Patsy Allah's playing field, we saw an event that would always be etched in our memories. It in fact was memorable, impactful, according to the pastor, and a pathway for continued progress was unveiled to improve the lives of everyone in the Federation. I would want to leave you with this view, that St. Kitts and Nevis has always practiced leadership politics. And just reflect on the empirical history of politics in St. Kitts, dating back to the 1950s, after adult suffrage in St. Kitts. We had Bradshaw. He served in office for about 25 years, till he died in 1978. There was a lapse in 2 years. We had Kennedy Simmons, who served for 15 years. We had Denzel Douglas, who served for nigh 20 years. Then came Timothy Harris, and all these were popular leaders. Timothy Harris is as popular as well. So I am going to submit that once we apply the laws of probability, then it will only continue the way it continued over the years in terms of our leadership politics. As a people, we should always stand together, because unity not only gives strength, but it is important for our survival, especially in these times when we live in a world that's filled with so much complexity, so much unpredictability, and so much uncertainty. But some people are trying to break us, to divide us, because they understand the importance of being united. They must understand, united we stand, divided we fall. They must understand that unity helps to grow. Unity gives the people courage. And I'm asking myself, and I asked myself on Saturday, is unity now being found in the People's Labour Party? Because at that convention, you saw people from PAM, you saw people from Labour, you saw people from Nevis, I don't know which party, but they all came together and converged on the Patsy Allah's playing field. And that was, as I said from the beginning, it was in fact my Stray Dog family scripture being fulfilled on Saturday, the 26th of March, 2022, at the PLP convention. It was a wonder to behold. We saw togetherness, we felt love, and everyone felt welcome. It was a practical example of what the psalmist told us about. Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. That's my story for tonight, and I'm not going to change it. I'll say, thank God for guiding our conversation tonight as always. I want to thank all your callers and many who could not get in. I want to thank the emailers, and I want to thank those who send messages by other media platforms. And I forgot this message, my Straight Talk family. I just should have read this before I left tonight, and I'll do that if you just bear with me. It says, "Good evening, sir. What manner of man stays away from cabinet and the governing affairs of a country for 7 weeks, and yet still aspires to be its prime minister? It shows the level of immaturity that is more than clear to us, the voting public. The deputy prime minister should be ashamed of himself," reads this email. And that's where we're going to end it, my Straight Talk family, because my time is done and I've got to run. I want to thank you for your input, all who called, all who sent emails, all who just listened on ZIZ Radio and on social media. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and I say a big, big thank you. I want to thank Albert Bradley in the studio as well. I know on ZIZ Radio, don't you move your dial. He's going to come with his oldie goldies, his vinyl oldie goldies. But they sound good. Variety is good. Music is good. So until we connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk, be good to yourselves, my Straight Talk family, and all whom you meet. Remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you must believe. Until we connect on Thursday, bye-bye, my Straight Talk family.
Till I reach the top somehow.